to train for Everest, and the Cairngorms are as bleak an environment as we can find in the UK. High altitude mountaineering is obviously a fairly hazardous occupation, and rescue becomes very, very difficult. As all soldiers will know, carrying a stretcher is quite a difficult thing to do anyway, as we may have done in Afghanistan and Iraq, etc. Doing that at altitude when the brain is hypoxic with very little oxygen and it's -50 and the winds can be 50 miles per hour becomes even more dangerous again. So what we've been practicing is the scenario of one of our guys has gone down, getting the stretcher out, using our skills and drills, and also understanding just how difficult that would be for real.
So John, we're going to have a lower limb injury to you, the severe injury, we don't know the severity yet. We're going to practice using the stretcher to evacuate him back to the North Col.
I'm quite a big believer in combat stress, so I kind of jovially said to a few friends, I want to stand on the highest point on earth and scream that it's okay to ask for help. And thanks to this team of guys, that's exactly what we're going to try and do.
Team is stopped, we have a casualty, we're going to carry out an assessment.
Well, I've now done 2 tours of Afghanistan. As a reserve officer, I found when out in operations, I've worked in Nadia Ali and Shawkat and Helmand Province. It's a pressured environment. We've gone out for what we thought would be a fairly standard sort of hearts and minds campaign to meet some of the locals. And as we walked into one of the particular compounds just outside Shawkat and Nadia Ali, the gunfire starts to ring out. The adrenaline instantly starts to pick up. So suddenly your mental state is switched from one extreme to the other. And we're with a large group of very young guys from an infantry regiment that had only been in theatre a few weeks. And suddenly the guys look to the senior NCOs and they look to the officers to get control of that situation, and you become very aware that your lives are very codependent upon each other's ability to do their work, and those decisions you're about to take have a very, very serious consequence for you and for them. Suddenly I was back in my civilian life, my civilian job, and surrounded by a group of people that actually had no real understanding of what I'd been or what I'd done, or indeed what those emotions are. So I was at the checkout, that obviously the most complex task to get my weekly shopping from the supermarket, and in fact I'd asked the girl behind the checkout to swap something over for me, and she pretty much ignored me. She was too busy talking about whatever soap she'd watched on the telly the night before, and then treated me with sort of a degree of disdain really. I felt really cross, really angry. I kind of flashed at her, to use an army expression, and literally dressed her down. Later that afternoon I was walking my dog, and it sort of occurred to me that actually my response was A, pretty over the top, and B, sort of not really normal. And I just started to ask myself, why did I do that and what was going on about that? We spend a lifetime training to man up and be tough, and suddenly to tell my friends that I wasn't feeling so great and I was getting cross with people and getting snappy at people and not sleeping particularly well wasn't necessarily something I particularly wanted to admit. I was worried they'd look at me and laugh at me and think that maybe I was just needed to man up a bit really. Thankfully I plucked up the courage to do that and sort of approached one of my friends who kind of laughed out loud and said, yeah, me too. He said, I've had exactly the same issues, it's really funny. He said, I was pretty intolerant before, I'm really intolerant now. So actually we are going to climb this mountain, 8,848 metres, and we're going to stand on the top of that where there's no oxygen, which I defy anybody to tell me that's a wussy challenge. And we're going to shout that message from the top, guys, it's okay to ask for that help, so please come and do that.